Welcome to our channel, where we update the most dramatic and fascinating stories about the movie Beyond the Gates. Here, we not only bring hot news but also deeply explore each detail. Each shocking development, helping you better understand the mysteries and challenges that the characters face. Join us so you don't miss any moment of this emotional journey. Bill sat in the cold hospital room. The white light reflecting on the ceiling made the space more quiet and suffocating than ever. The clock ticked steadily, like each countdown to a horrifying truth that was about to be revealed. The doctor looked at Bill with a thoughtful gaze, then finally uttered words that completely collapsed his world. The test results showed that he had cancer. Each word, each sentence was like a sharp knife stabbing straight into Bill's heart. Feelings of fear, confusion, despair, and confusion flooded his mind at the same time, making him unable to control his emotions. A choked sob began to burst out, louder and louder. Pent up in his heart for so long, now bursting out violently. He screamed, as if wanting to burst out all the pain in his heart, but also wanting to dispel the darkness that was covering his life. But beside that fear was a deep anger. Bill wondered why fate was so unfair. Why did he, who had lived a strong, passionate life, have to face the death sentence? In that despair, all his future plans, dreams, and hopes were gone. He felt like he was lost in a maze with no way out, where every step he took was stepping on pieces of himself. However, in that emotional chaos, there was a glimmer of light. Bill did not completely surrender. A part of him began to awaken, searching for life in the darkness. He realized that this disease was not only a physical challenge but also a battle of will and spirit. Bill began to seriously think about how to face reality. About the loved ones waiting for him outside the hospital room. In the following days, events continued to occur, creating an unpredictable chain of stories. Bill began to experience profound changes in his soul and life. He gradually gave up his self-destructive habits, sought support from old friends and family. In particular, he was determined to learn about his disease, seek the latest treatments and spiritual support therapies. But Beyond the Gates is not just a story about illness and recovery. A growing secret is revealed behind Bill's illness, an elaborate conspiracy involving a mysterious organization that he accidentally discovered before he learned about the disease. The organization seems to not only aim to control medical resources but is also involved in dangerous biological experiments. Bill becomes their target. And the cancer may not be a coincidence but part of a sinister plan to destroy him. Amidst physical and mental pain, Bill begins a journey of healing and fighting to expose the conspiracy. He must find unexpected allies, face betrayals and dangers lurking around. Every step he takes is a race against time, as the cancer progresses, threatening his life. Bill's journey is not only a personal story of life and death, but also a fight for truth, justice, and the indomitable will of man in the face of adversity. From a man who seemed to be about to collapse, Bill gradually became a symbol of hope and strength, inspiring those around him to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges in life. Everything he experienced will create a thrilling story beyond the gates, not only facing illness but also a fight for survival against the silent forces behind it, where truth and life are intertwined in a dramatic and breathtaking way. In the following days after hearing the shocking news of his cancer, Bill was immersed in an indescribable state of chaos. He left the hospital with red eyes and a completely blank mind, like a person who had lost his soul. Every step down the long, cold hallway seemed to drag him deeper into an endless abyss from which there was no escape. He could not imagine that the life he had once thought was stable and secure could so easily collapse after just a text message from the doctor. But it was not just a feeling of helplessness and fear. Inside Bill there was a fierce fire of resilience, an unyielding will. He began to tell himself that he could not give up in front of the disease. He understood that cancer was an invisible but dangerous enemy, and the fight against it was not only a battle of the body but also of the soul. He needed strength, patience and a plan to face this challenge. Bill began to search for information about his disease relentlessly. He spent nights awake in front of the computer screen, poring over medical research articles, new treatments, and stories about people who had overcome cancer. Every piece of information Every little piece of news was an invaluable source of encouragement for him not to give up. During this time, Bill also gradually realized the importance of having people by his side. Family and friends became a strong spiritual support, helping him stay mentally strong in the most desperate times. There were times when Bill broke down in tears, but their care, encouragement and warm presence helped him stand up and continue fighting. However, cancer was not the only challenge Bill had to face. A series of unexpected events began to occur, making him even more confused. Strange phone calls, mysterious figures appearing around his home and workplace, and times when he felt constantly being watched made Bill realize that the disease might not be a random disaster. Through the small clues that Bill gradually collected, he discovered a secret organization operating underground with the purpose of controlling and manipulating the medical industry, especially cancer treatments. This organization did not hesitate to use illegal methods, human experiments and cruel plots to achieve its goals of power and huge profits. Bill realizes that he is not just an ordinary patient but also a target of this organization because he accidentally discovered the secret of a cure for cancer that was hidden by this organization. The warning signs become increasingly clear when he continuously encounters unusual incidents, medical records are changed, close doctors suddenly disappear, and his most trusted friends gradually become strangers. Faced with this truth, Bill has no way back. He decides to go deep into the organization to learn and expose the dark plots. It is a dangerous journey full of traps and risks, but he cannot let himself be pushed into the darkness. At the same time, Bill's health begins to show alarming signs. The chemotherapy and radiation treatments cause him physical pain, he loses weight rapidly, and his skin becomes pale. Every time he entered the treatment room, Bill felt like he was fighting death every second. Fatigue and lethargy covered his soul, threatening to erase the faith and will he was trying to preserve. But it was in his weakest moments that Bill found miraculous strength from within. He realized that the disease could not define him, could not decide his future. Bill became a symbol of courage and relentless perseverance, inspiring those around him. Old friends from childhood, colleagues who had doubted him, even strangers, once again appeared by his side, bringing help and encouragement. Together they built a strong support network, giving Bill more strength to confront the hostile organization and the disease. Bill did not stop at finding a cure for his own illness, but set a higher goal, to expose the whole dark truth, to save others who were suffering the same fate. He began to cooperate with investigative journalists, human rights organizations and independent medical experts, creating a strong counterforce against the powerful and ruthless underground forces. The road ahead was full of thorns and dangers. There were constant pursuits, threats, and plots to destroy his spirit. But Bill still steadfastly walked, carrying in his heart the eternal flame of life and hope. Bill's journey is not only the story of a man fighting cancer but also a symbol of human strength in the face of adversity. It is a journey of perseverance, courage and love, the elements that create miracles that can change lives. Bill's story will be a dramatic and touching chapter in Beyond the Gates. When life and death, truth and lies intertwine, making viewers unable to take their eyes off him, following every step in the most difficult battle of their lives. Thank you for taking the time to follow today's article. To continue to update the latest developments and explore more about Beyond the Gates and many other interesting stories, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Any questions and comments from you are also very welcome so that we can build a vibrant and enthusiastic film community together.